everyone. So today our target is to make that particular object. And today, step by step, one by one, we will try to discuss how to make this box. So we are using the Fusion 360. So this is the student version, so which can be shared for free. So and let's discuss how to make that particular box. Okay, first of all we need the size. So to disable the body, so here we do have those particular components. Okay, and here, so click inspect, so we can see the distance 100 millimeters. So from center, it's like 50 millimeters. Like from center to that line, 14 millimeters. And from center until the last line, 75 millimeters. By using that particular numbers, so we can design our new base. Okay, so the first distance is 50. Okay, so here where is the problem? Should be very careful by designing the particular lines. 50. Okay, so here, so 50 plus 14, 64. Okay, I will not make that medium line now. It's okay, and here 75. So now I need to connect that particular line. So here I will use spline. So the first version. It's not really important, so now try. To adjust the size. This point is not necessary. I think this one will be okay. So make sure that all distances are the same. So 50 millimeters, fine. So now I need to create that second line. So let's make lines 2 millimeters. Okay, so that one will not fit, so just kind of okay, make sure that there is no dead parts. Okay, and the last line here. now use the perpendicular command. So and now we can correct all of our lines. Very simple. So this is the perpendicular as default. Okay, so now we can combine all of our points here, 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 here. Make sure everything is okay. See here, it's not perpendicular, so we can just simply move it. Okay, so now we don't need that line anymore. So what we use to connect our two surfaces. Okay, so now let's make a contour. So here, so the size of that, like thickness of the contour should be 2 millimeters. So yeah, so let's do this. So here 2. Okay, so here 2 meters. Yeah. Connect. Okay, so now what I need to do is to copy those two lines here. So here we can use the command mirror, select the object, this and this. So now select the mirror line, that, and now we can see they are connected. So now we can highlight two lines. Okay, so the first like base part is finished. Okay, so here we can see how does it looks like. Looks fine. So let's finish this sketch. I'll come back here. So the next what will be better to make is that particular part, so related to the top part. So here distance is 50 millimeters. Okay, so here let's measure this size. So here is 64, 60, and inside 56. So then we're supposed to make it here. So how to do that? First we need to make offset plane. So once again, so construct offset plane. So and from the different angles, so we can set up the plane. Okay, so see here, and I can make any distance I want. So I choose those horizontal offset. So I need 50 millimeters. So the 50 millimeters here. So and now see, so those offset plane is here. So now what I need the sketch. here, like create sketch. So, and in the sketch, so here we will see two of them. So now I cannot see them both because like second sketch now doesn't have anything. So the first sketch is that what we just draw. So if I will remove the first sketch, so will be nothing here. As long as the center is the same, so from here to here, that should be 50 millimeters. So let's choose that particular distance. So 50 millimeters. So, and the first size was 64 millimeters. So that's why 32 left, 32 right. So here 64. 64. 64. Okay, so and I need like 2 times for 2 millimeters. 2, 2, 2. So from here that will be 60 millimeters. 60, 60, 60. So here is 56, 6, 6, 6. Delete all unnecessary sizes. Yeah, okay, done. So this is our second sketch. So finish sketch. So and now so we can see this. Okay, so that line I don't really need, so that's where let's remove it. Okay, done. Save. Okay, so the next, what will be better to add here? So again, if I will come back to our box, so see here, where is that particular part? So the screen part. So here is our screen. So the screen looks like this. So the size of the screen 56 millimeters. So and here the point is that it has like some certain angle. Let's say hard to find. Okay, so anyway, so we need like 56 millimeters and that particular line. So again, so how does it looks like here? So this is our screen. Start from the 56 millimeters. Okay, so in our case, so that's supposed to be somewhere here. Okay, again, construct offset plane. So we need this. So I don't need to move anywhere. So click here. So create sketch. So this is our sketch. So here now is the important part. See, our sketch is intersected our line. So the important part here, so we need the intersection point. And the intersection point is that initial here. So create project include intersection. So and now let's define. So what do I need to intersect? Let's intersect everything. So maybe later, so we will need it. Okay, so now we can see those kind of the purple line. So it means that now if I will connect by line, so that particular line will be connected with the both sketches, sketch 1 and sketch 2. Okay, so right, so and this is our sketch. Okay, so okay, so we need that distance. So here you can see it, this is 25.5. So right here we need the same. Let's say let's make 26. Doesn't make much difference. Okay, now so go back. Okay, so it is here. 6 millimeters. 6. Okay, and here is our 56 millimeter screen. Oh, 44. Yeah, the distance was wrong. 44 millimeters. Here, 44. Okay, and now let's place. Yeah, we can place it here. Something like this. So this line we don't need. So this is our line. So in here we need to connect that line by spline. Something like this. A little bit better. Something like this. Okay, so that line we don't need anymore. Finish. Okay, so this is our case. Okay, and there is one issue what we need to consider. edit sketch. So now I need that particular distance. So maybe that line what I made here is not really correct. So because actually I will need to fix the distance. Like let's say 10 millimeters. So I need some certain distance, let's say 8 millimeters. Okay, so here instead of this line, let's connect. So even if it will be slightly less, let's see 43.8, it doesn't really matter. So because we will do the extrude later. Connect. So I need some fixed distance right here. Okay, so now finish. That line I also need. Okay, clear. So now let's make our screen. Construct angle, yeah, something like this. Once again, construct plane at angle. So here, if I will highlight some line, so that will automatically make the offset plane. So here, create sketch. So now is our screen, that particular screen. And now we can measure the size. So this is 64 millimeters over the 48. So remember the original size was 43, 44. So but again, so technically this is fine, so we can still manage that size. So 64 over the 48. So this is our like screen center. So actually, so here we can see where our screen will be started. So this is the center. So technically, like we can even measure what will be from here to here. See, it's 22. So our screen is 48. This is the 24. Let's make 24 here. 24 here. So see, it is slightly lower, but again, that is fine. So we can extrude, make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, maybe that part. Okay, anyway, so that will be the problem later. Okay, so here 64, so 32. Eight. All those middle line I don't need. So this is my screen. Okay, so right here, where is that particular like parts, wool parts. Okay, so let's make so those lines. We can like disable the all other sketches, edit that sketch. Okay, and let's make 3 millimeters edges. Okay, so here add circle. Okay, and now let's make a circle here, here, and here. So I don't really need that particular circle. So technically what I need is only that particular edge, so the arc from the circle. So that's why actually here create arc, like center point arc. Okay, so here I can just connect the particular lines. So delete all non-necessary lines. Okay, now just connect the points. Okay, done. Finish sketch. Now we can display all of our other objects, and now we do have a screen area. Okay, so the next what we will need to do, we will see the body. So you see here the first operation, what is important to implement here is the way to process the first loft operation, and that's actually separate our box into the two parts. So technically we do have 3 parts. So that base part, after the screen part, and the top part. So that there's 3 different parts. So we will design in a different, like technically in the same manner, but they must be separated. So the first, like the first part will be until like that end of the screen. So that's why we wanted to fix the 8 millimeters here. So what do we need? We need one extra offset plane, so we're in the end of that screen. So what I can do, like see here with like offset plane, and I need 8 millimeters. So once more time, so here we do have a surface, right click, offset plane, 8 millimeters. Okay, so here we will create one more sketch. Okay, I don't need screen and I don't need that one, that one. Okay, so here is my sketch. Okay, so now actually we do have an intersection with the screen and that particular line, isn't it? So those things they're intersected. So then that's better to kind of highlight that particular part. So create, project include, intersect. So and now we can set up like where, so see it's here and here. So there are 3 points to intersect. Okay, as long as the finish again. So here I supposed to place it here and here. So we need a few more objects to create in order to like start creating that sketch number 5. So we need some arcs over there. So and to make sure that we can create them. Okay, see here the problem is that if I will try to okay, the first of all, like now I need to connect all of my points. What does it mean? So if I will come back here, so this is our some sketches. So this is our sketch 13. So the sketch 13, this is what we want to draw right now. See, that must intersect like somewhere here, here. So and then we must complete the contour. So, but how to get that particular points? See, we will have to create that sketch which display so display like the back part and the front part. So with that that particular curves where our object must intersect them. So right here, so what is happening? So we create the sketch 5. So but that sketch 5 will not see the objects what we will create later. Okay, so that's why the order here in the Fusion is also important. So what I will do, I will delete sketch 5. So here, this is our pen. I will delete this particular pen. Okay, so the pen. So the pen later I will use it, but like, okay. So now, yeah. Let's delete. Doesn't really matter. So the first what I need to do is to make offset plane right here. So to connect those particular lines. Okay, so construct offset plane. So this one. So here we will need to move it into the 14 millimeters. Okay, and now let's create the sketch. Okay, so now the sketch is here. So and as default, let's create the intersection points. So the points will be here, 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 and the more important here. That part. Okay, I'm not sure was it successful or not. Okay, so I think that was not successful the first time. So create intersect. Okay, yeah, okay, so now you have the points. Okay, so done. So now what I need to do is to make our curves. Okay, the first of all, so here is our box. So the box, like the top size was 64 millimeters, so that's why like 32 here. Here. Okay, and now we need to combine with the spline. Okay, so those points now they're intersected, so those points are here. So what we can do, we can disable the first sketch, so that's why we will have only the intersected points. So now I need to connect again, use the spline. Something like this. Okay, so here, let's make medium line, so later we can delete it. So now, again, I need 2 millimeters lines everywhere. Here. So let's make 2 millimeters everywhere. Okay, so now make perpendicular. So this one. Okay, looks fine. Okay, so now one more spline. So okay, looks fine. Connections. So now I need to copy them here. Mirror. Select the mirror line here. Enter. So and I need to connect the last line here. Okay, I need to connect them at the end as well. So this one. So because finish sketch. Okay, so number one. So in another one, what I need to do is to make that particular offset plane at the end, like in the end of our box. Okay, so construct offset plane. So we can place here. So and I need to move it over the 50 millimeters. So and so right here we can see this is in the back side of our box. So those particular lines must be the same as we have it in our previous sketch. So that's why like, I can go back to our sketch 6, like copy those two lines, Ctrl C. Okay, so finish sketch. Okay, so now here in that offset plane what we just created, create the sketch, so that will be our sketch 7. Here. Okay, so I forgot one more thing. So we need intersection point. So better to make that intersection point all the time. Intersect. So okay, so because later that may cause an issue. So we get it. So front. Let's disable all of our sketches. So remember, I already copied. So copy my line. So and as you can see, they are actually already placed in the places where they are. Why? Because we didn't move them anywhere. So if I will show 3 sketches, so now see where is that plane, the plane what we just created, and those particular lines, they're in exact position what we want. Okay, so now what I need is to transfer those 2 lines. Oops. See here, there is no the second point. Okay, so sketch. So that should stop. That's correct. Sketch. Okay, so now let's copy. So I will make a line. So this mirror. Select mirror line. That one. Enter. Okay, so now I just need to connect this point and this point. Finish. Okay, perfect. So now let's display our screen and that line. Okay, so now we will need to come back to our offset plane. So what must be like our first intersection plane? So in the beginning of that screen, and in order to again create that particular contour which can connect all of our items together. Okay, so we did it before, so offset plane. So here I should go on 8 millimeters. So create sketch. So now that will be the sketch 8. Okay, and see the point here. Now we can intersect our objects all of the items what we already created right here. See, the problem is that if I could do that sketch 8 in the position of the sketch 6, what we did in the first time. So the later when I will create those two particular, like that two next sketches, so they will not be visible. So this is the drawback of the Fusion. So that's why the order is very important, so how to create the objects. Okay, so now all of those three, like technically four components, what must be intersected, now visible. So now I can intersect them all. Intersection, so here I can see intersect here, intersect here, intersect here, 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 done. Enter. So 1, 2, okay, everywhere the intersection is visible. Okay, so now go top, disable that part, disable the first sketch, and I don't really need that screen. Okay, so this is the intersection point what we already have. So and now I can just connect them all. So here, line, done. So and what I need next is to make a spline. Okay, now we can them slightly to make the shape better. Okay, so here I can see the first sketch. So this is our line. That will be our second line. I think that's fine. Okay, so similar to what we did before, so I can do this. Okay, now make them okay. So here the 2 millimeters so is already exist. So and there is no just one point here. Okay, and now we can connect the line. Okay, so and delete that particular lines. This, and this. So now we need to copy those two lines. So mirror. Okay, so we don't have that particular line. So let's make it. So mirror this. Okay, and select the mirror line. That. enter. Okay, so now I need to connect this line, that line. Here, here. Okay, and similar here will be the 2 millimeters. Okay, we do have 2 millimeters. So we can connect here, here. Okay, so here, yeah, that's happened. That may happen. So what do we need to do is to connect that particular line to here. So, but the problem is like we need the contour. That's why, like, let's move 2 millimeter here and connect it here. So, and that particular lines we don't need. Okay, so done. So this line. Okay, so this is our contour. So now if I will enable my sketches, screen. Okay, so and the next what we will need to do is actually the general operation for that particular task is to make a loft operation. So finally, like we need to see this the first loft part. So that may not always go well. So that's why let's try to do it manually. Okay, so choose the loft. So this is our first contour. So here click plus. This is our second contour. And that's what is happening. So as default, the Fusion doesn't understand like how to connect our objects. So and we do have such kind of crazy things. So actually, the point like we can always try to make it better. Something like this. Yeah, so we can manually correct. Okay, so technically we can say correct. So the new body. So we didn't create any body yet. So let's create body. Okay, so and now our object looks this. So compared to what we have here, So the problem is that I don't need the central path. So, but for the central path, like we can just cut it from the previous body. So this is our body. So now we will just cut that particular part. Okay, so again, loft, choose this, 8, loft, this contour, that contour, so here cut. So it doesn't know what to cut, but if I will add, display the object, so now we can cut. So and that's the what we will have inside of our box. Okay, looks good. So that's exactly what we want. So the next what we will need to do is that middle part. So for the middle part, yes, we will need to again create like few different things. So that particular lines. So discover how to use that particular profiles. Here. So there are that lines what we will need to discover. Okay, anyway, there are quite many things like to add just in order to draw that middle part. So, but the first what we will need to do is another sketch and the top of our box. So, and that's what we will need to do. Okay, so this is our box. Okay, see what so do we need to do is to like create the sketch just in the front, like in the top of our screen. So technically that so that point. Okay. Okay. So that point we have. So that point. So where the screen has been intersected. So this is the center. So but that point is the intersection in between that particular screen and that line, the middle line. Okay. So and we can use it. So if I will like click edit sketch, so right here I can see that particular distance. Okay, so here, see, we use the 6 millimeters, like in order to move our setback. Okay, now the distance from here to here is 50 millimeters. Inspect this point, that line. That's not correct. Okay, so here it is 50 millimeters. So now in order to, so that means that the distance from those bottom surface until that particular point will be the 44 millimeters, because here the distance was 6. So and again what I can do, like offset plane, so and here 44 millimeters. Okay, so create sketch and okay. Let's keep it here. So the O device looks like we can do it. So and now let's create intersection. So intersection. Create intersection. So that will be here, here, here. Connected. Good. Okay, looks fine. Okay, so make sure that we do have them everywhere. Okay, so now so this is our intersection point. So and similar to what we did before, so now I can connect them. Okay, so now we need to connect that line again. So here I will use line. Looks like, let's make it looks better. So now we can display our previous line. Okay, so this is number one. Okay, number one is not like that. That's what we will connect our two splines. Okay, yeah, looks good. So now let's make connectors. Okay, fix them. Okay, so that one we don't need. Actually, here the distance will not be 2 millimeters. So because that was like in some angle scope, so that's why. As long as that will be inside of our box, it doesn't really matter. So see that path connected this way. Okay, so now similarly, I will just make some line to do the mirror, and those two lines I will mirror right here. So now I need a line. Seven. Okay, and let's display the screen. Okay, so now I think we are ready to try. At least try it, because yeah, that may not go well. So the first sketch is good. Yeah, see, yeah, we can highlight that. Like, let's check. Highlight, yeah, I can highlight. Okay, and now let's try to do that loft operation again. So the loft, this is our first profile, this is our second profile. Okay, let's try to use rails. Yeah, technically not bad. Good. Actually, the problem is here. See, it doesn't use that particular lines as the rails. So I want them like to go through those particular lines, but they are not going. Okay, so okay, so in order to solve the problem, see, this is the rails. So the idea of rails that the loft is using those particular profile in order to create the new object. So, and what we did, so those rails, they are connected each other. So the easy solution, just delete this line. So now we will disconnect that line and that line. So, and let's try again. So create loft. So, okay, and let's do it together. Like, as long as we later we will again process our lofting again with the cutting the central part. So that's like better to just use like both surfaces together. Okay, did. So now let's add rails. Rail 1, rail 2, so that will be our rail 3, and this is the rail 4. Okay, so not new body, join, and display our previous part. Okay, and now looks fine. Click OK, so now we can see our body. Okay, now let's cut the central part. Okay, just in order to make sure that everything is okay, so if I will go here, see how does the back side looks like. So, and now if I will display, so this is our sketch, what was here, this is our sketch from the back side. See, now it is actually going through the back parts. So which exactly what I want. Okay, so and the next what I need to do is to cut the middle part. So I need to cut this. This and that part I will need to cut. Again, create loft. Two. Rails, yeah. Maybe I cannot use Rails. Let's see this. This. Can add only one rail. Touch all of the profits. Ah, okay, yeah, makes sense. It doesn't touch the profit. Yeah, okay, let's use just one rail. Okay, so now we can see see. Oh, it looks good. This part doesn't looks really nice. Yeah, okay, but that makes sense. Sure. Okay, and what I can try. Okay, so edit loft. Yeah, so now I can. Yeah, but still backside doesn't looks correct. Okay, so here what will be the best to do is to add one more profile, like with that particular line. So this is our like sketch 7. So let's come here. So I need that line. Control C. Okay, so and now I need offset plane right here. So what I can do, finish sketch, so disable body. Okay, so now I can do that. Create offset plane and okay, let's try this. Okay, see it's created wrong, so but I can rotate it over the 90-degree. So click enter. So here I create the sketch. I need sketch 9. want. Okay, so now we need intersection points. Create intersection points. Okay, here, here. Like everywhere we can find it. Okay. Yeah, now that will be very hard to place it here. Okay, so we have a problem because like I cannot simply connect that particular line with that. Yeah, we may try to rotate. For some reason it is like going back. Let's do it again. So I need sketch 7. So this line, control. See, the problem is that stop by display this way. Okay. So I just need to move it here. Okay. Let's copy it again. Control C. Now edit sketch. Why it is rotated? Yeah, so the problem is those particular numbers, which is problem. See, technically it is not. strange. Wire is going this way. Yeah, that will be very hard to connect. Yeah, okay, so the one point, yeah, even if I will place it here, so technically what I can do is to make another spline. As long as that will be inside of my here the important part is to connect here into the intersection path. And now I can delete this line. Okay, so then let's correct it a little bit. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, and now I can mirror that particular line. Disable that part, delete this line. And finish sketch. Okay, so that I don't need. Okay, that's I need. And screen. Screen. Okay, that part. Okay, so now let's try the body. So this one I will delete. So that loft, what was wrong. Okay, now I will try to make that loft again. So which will delete those central parts. So this profile, that profile. Okay, so now we use the rails. So I have that rail and that rail. And since now it starts showing some kind of error, bad geometry. Let's see how it looks like. Cut. Yeah. Doesn't go well. So means that okay, stop. I think I used the wrong one. Okay. Bodies. Let's do it again. Loft. This. And this. Rails. That. That. yeah, for some reason it doesn't really want. Rails cannot be tangent to profits. How does it have? It has intersection. It has intersection. What's okay, so looks that yes, I see here it's cannot create that particular loft. Okay, so let's try again. Let's avoid that particular path. So this rail, that rail, cut. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, definitely we need so the new rails here. Yeah, this is the problem. Yeah, for some reason, yeah, that sometimes it's getting crazy. For example, I have no idea what is that line about, why it is going this way. Yeah, so those rails, they completely disconnected. I have no idea why. Okay, I think the problem here is that, okay, see, this is our like second sketch. So the idea was to intersect with that path. Yeah, see here, this intersection doesn't touch. Yeah, I think that was bad idea. Anyway, so what we can do here, what I found, see here, there is no intersection point. So I will delete those two lines. So now let's do that kind of intersection again. I don't know why it was not displayed right here, because so see that particular point, so we try to make it, but for some reason it's disappeared. So it is here. Okay, so now front, so this one will not display, and we need that sketch. So now we do have those 2 points, and we need to connect. So use spline. So it doesn't really matter, is it like directly going or not. So we can just kind of adjust it. Yeah, so that will be our line. Okay, so here our central line. Okay, and mirror this line. let's try again. So the body is here. Loft. This profile. That profile. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it looks now there is no error. So that error because we are not displaying the object. Okay, and I think now it looks better. Okay, done. So the next part. So what we will need to do is to create the third part. So this top part of our box. So this is our that particular part. Okay, so in order to process that particular part, so here we will need to again process the loft, like base, like starting from that base until that that particular part, the small part over there. So come here. So technically, like the base we already have. So except those intersection line, because we need to separate like the back part and this front part. So to do that, we need our sketch 9. Sketch 9. So in here, I will connect from the beginning to end this one. Okay. So finish sketch. So now I do have that line. So now let's display our top part. So and right here I am going to write like 1 millimeter area. So where I supposed to loft from the one point to that particular point. So actually we can try it even now. Loft. Profile 1, profile 2. See the profile 2, yeah, that does not, it can be a point, but it cannot be line. This is the problem. Okay, so that's why for the sketch 2, yeah, I will just add one millimeter like teeny object. So now I can highlight it. So here, see now I do have two contours for loft. So create loft. So this is our first part, first profile. This is the second profile, and right here we can see how does it looks like. It doesn't looks exactly we want. So why? Because it doesn't have rails. Okay, so that's why. Let's disable it. So how to create that rails? Okay. So that can be our first rail. So the problem is it doesn't have connection here. Okay, so that's why. So what we can do? So for this sketch, see, the problem is that it doesn't connect. So, but what we can do actually, this line, so the first, let's intersect. So create, intersect, and with this line. Okay, so here will be one new point. Again, if I will go right, so now we can see they are separated. So that's why it will not work directly. Because I cannot do it. So delete. I didn't use that line. So now we can create it again. Sketch, so that will be our rail. Okay, so and so this is the 6, so that's what I need. So we may try to use that 3 lines for the loft. Again, up to now it is not clear, so can we use it or not? So that will be our first preference. Loft plus this. So I press enter in order to unify two profiles. Okay, so here that will be our second profile. Now rails. One rail, second rail, third rail. So and again, see, it's saying that rail 2 and rail 3 has some problem. Even if I disconnect it, it's still interesting. Okay, let's try again. Yeah, there is some. Oh. Okay, like the different order help. Now made it. Okay, let's save. Okay, so in the next operation, what we will need to do is to like cut, so the cut that path. Okay, so let's disable the body. So see here, there is no that connected line, and I'm afraid that if I will use that connected line, so many issues will happen. So another problem, see here we use that particular part to process like lofting. So right here, so we supposed to do the same. So it means that I will need to move back over the 2 millimeters and like make that particular part again. So disable, right. So now I need from the top move 2 millimeters back. Okay, so construct offset plane. So up to here it's 50 millimeters. I need 48. Okay, create sketch. So and for that sketch I need millimeters. Okay, so and let's make intersection first, because that intersection may have a lot of problems here. Okay, so create, intersect. Okay, so there are 2 points here. That's those points, they're critically important. So the rest I don't really need. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so this one. So the front one, even if that will be the straight line, I don't care. So now let's try with this configuration. So I need to do the loft, cutting loft in between those 2 profiles, and those 2 lines must be the rails. Yeah, let's try. File, like loft, first profile, second profile, rails, and another rails. In body cut, and display the body. Okay, so now let's see. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, that was cut it. Something what I want. Yeah, okay. This part done. Okay, so this part we finish. So the next what is here is to create that particular part. Yeah, so that will be so the interesting. Okay, so okay, the first of all, like so here, those particular loft has been created separately from left part and right part. So we will do the same. So the first we will need to define like how to process that particular lofting. So here the idea is same as we used before. So we need the two contours, and after that just connect that particular contours with the rails. So the rails will be here and there. Okay, so coming back here, see what is happening. So I need two contours. So the one contours will be that particular part. So right here, so see, it is connected. So but let's make it separate. So and finally that will be our like our first profile. So now the profile is not even exist. So we will have to create it right here. Okay, so the first of all, edit this sketch. So what I need is to just connect this line here. As long as I do have like right path, left path, so I will need to connect it here as well. So now if I will finish sketch, so see right now I can highlight that particular path. Okay, so the next what I need is one more sketch. So that will be somewhere right here. So remember from the center up to this part was 32 millimeters because the total size was 64. So that's why here in construct offset plane. So from here, if I will move over the 32 millimeters, so finally I will reach those 2 points. From here to here is another 34 millimeters. Okay, so here let's create sketch. Okay, don't forget to intersect actually right here. Yeah, I need that particular sketch as well. Okay, so and now maybe number 8. Number 9 is not really necessary anymore. Okay, see here, so that is like connected all of our rails. Okay, the first what we need is the intersection. So intersect, so now connect those points. So and what I need, so here, that particular part. Sketch. Okay, so now now I can highlight that part and that part. Now let's try. So here is my rails. So I can try to do the loft again. So that one, my first profile plus here that my second profile. So now let's add rails. This. Technically I need only one rails because they are identical. Okay, and finally I can see that part, which is not bad. Okay, so the same I will need to do from the other side. So that particular contour is already there. So, but I need offset plane. time. Yeah, when there are too many details, that became hard to make. Okay, so this one, and I need to move into the minus 32 millimeters. Okay, make sketch. So now make intersection here, 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 here. Okay, so 4 points. So we need a contour. Okay, finish. So and now we need to repeat loft. Loft. So this, button. Okay. So finally we do have that particular part. So and now, yeah, some kind of part what will be pretty much important right here, because like see here I do have a contour, so technically I can extrude, like I can join, so finally that will be something like this. So and inside will be no any holes, because that is completely like overlapped with everything what I have. Okay, so maybe I don't need it too much. So that was 6 millimeters. Remember that all together was 6 millimeters. Yeah, so you can make it 6. Yeah, and right here we can see it is connected with here. So okay, so and the last operation, so in order to complete that particular part, so now I need to delete that non-necessary parts. So for that, let's edit this sketch. So and what I can do is just like do this. Connect this line. And this one. See, now I do have like completed areas what I can use for extrude. Okay, so now I will highlight that areas, extrude. And finally, now I can disable all sketches. And that will be our box. So that is not a final version. Why? Because we do have like sketch 2. So here is our base. So first I will do extrude. So we will need quite like significant part here. Remember the entire wall is just 2 millimeters. So and that will be moved like inside over the 2 millimeters. So maybe like 4 millimeters is enough. So the -6 will be good enough, but I need to join. Okay, so and that part I will need to extrude one more time over the 2 millimeters. So and that will be cut. And finally that will looks like this. Okay, so and from inside that looks this way. Okay, so this is the way how to create the box using the Fusion. So, and right here we used quite many different operations. So, but finally we succeeded. That box looks pretty nice. So that's all for today. Good luck.